Okay. Well, I think I'll just follow the agenda I wrote in the email I sent yesterday. Um, I'm pretty pleased with the 210 people we have registered so far for the show. Last year we did not have very good attendance as a distributor only show. We already have 81 distributor personnel signed up and 129 clients. And since the distributors are paying for the client registrations, we can feel pretty good about that. Those are going to show up. We were able to sell 2 hospitality suites, so we have 2 very large distributors who are really planning on making a day of it and having a great event. And last time we spoke about Phil's organization of the bus tour. We talked about starting out at Perrins, which is over towards Rockford, and then going downtown to Founders, and then returning back up towards the hotel. There's a new tap grill with a lot of craft beers right in front of the hotel. So kind of 3 stops. And Phil, where are we at with that?
Yep. So we have around 30 people that have signed up for the bus as of this morning. We have parents and founders. We've got 2 buses scheduled, and we have a staggered. We're all going to parents at the beginning, and then to founders after that, and then we have 2 staggered pickups, one at 9:30 and one at 10:30, to bring them back to the hotel.
That sounds great. What do you think we need in terms of checking in and making sure that we don't lose anybody and keeping track? It's not so much of a thing of keeping track of who paid or who didn't, because it's free for exhibitors, and it's an expense item for us, so it's not like we're going to have people, non-industry people, jumping the lines.
Right.
But,
yep. I know we'll need to check people in, and I'm not sure about checking people back, or if we just use some kind of making sure that everybody from the group knows that 10:30 is the last pickup at Founders. I'm not sure what we did last year. I'm assuming that there is a system that works well for check-in and making sure everybody's back, but I'm not sure what that would be.
I think for check-in, if we just do a clipboard with everybody you've got registered at the start, what if we do something like a business card size piece, or maybe a 3x5 card with the itinerary, maybe my cell phone number and the cell phone numbers of the drivers?
Okay. Yep, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that would probably solve it. If somebody does get disconnected, they'll have a couple of contacts to reach. And I usually don't ride the bus. I usually have the van and just kind of follow around. So I could be I can be the pickup, the draft cart behind. Okay. Do you want to put that information together for a card? Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put a card together.
Terrific.
And for 50 people, we'll just print our laser printer 50 cards.
Yeah.
Do some kind of design on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm really pleased.
And then,
go ahead.
So I would have someone at the hotel pickup, which would be right in front of the hotel there. We would have someone there to check people in, mark down names of everyone who's come. We have one person who paid for a ticket and then realized that they're a rep, so they get to ride free.
Right.
And I'm not sure what to do with that person.
Just let me know, and I'll make sure any reps that paid get reimbursed.
Okay. And then would there be a cash? Would it have to be ready to? If it's $15, would I have to be ready with change for people who come and pay at the event?
I can put a PayPal on my phone and let you use that during the check-in process.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't want to have to worry about giving a 5 back from a 20 and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And it probably won't have much of that. I'm going to volunteer her. She's not on the call, but Julie Russell usually does a great job with that sort of organization, with the clipboards and checking people in. So I'll let her know she's been assigned that task and to work with you on it.
All right. And John Bates also said he would be willing to help out.
Okay, I'll put those two down. Anyone have any questions about the bus tour part? I think we're in really good shape, and once again, I really thank you, Phil. You've taken a load off my plate, and that's just one more detail I really appreciate not having to deal with.
Yep, I'm happy to do that. Now, and I can come to the event for the pickup. I really can't stay for the event, actually.
Okay.
So I'm wondering where you would like me, what exactly you would like from me at the actual event.
What do you have time for?
Well, I can be there at the very beginning, and I can be available by phone at 9:30 and 10:30.
Okay. I think if you're just there as we pass it over to John and Julie, we should be fine.
Okay. I'll have my contact information with the drivers for the buses, but
okay.
They'll have you for a secondary contact. And will you be there at that event?
Yeah, I'll be at the hotel for the pickup, and then basically following the buses in my own vehicle.
All right. And everybody says the bus tour is a great time, so there's nothing more that I have to do for making the buses be a good time. That'll just be, people will just enjoy having the event, correct?
Right.
Nothing was done last year special. Okay.
Yeah, they managed to have a good time.
As I expected.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Registration. We're working with Sage, and it was a little disjointed because I'd already set up my usual web page, and then I set up a event spot page and closed the MIPA page and directed everything to that. And then we decided to work with Jennifer and Sage for the registration. It's got a lot of benefits, but it's been kind of a transition type thing. And as of yesterday, I closed down the event spot, moved all the data into the Sage database, and so it's over there. And so now, of course, I'm biting my nails, and Jennifer's doing a great job of keeping me calm. What our plan?
I hope so.
Sage will be doing an email blast for us, and they basically took the graphics that we did from our constant contact event spot mailing. And when's that going out? Monday?
I don't remember the date. Whatever date you would ask for, we've got that locked in. Let me see.
The 10th, I believe.
Yes, the 10th. Monday the 10th.
Perfect. So that will be going out to their database. We've been using our constant contact database. I'm expecting we'll probably be seeing a lot more coming in next week. With the working with Sage, instead of closing down on Friday, we're going to close it down on Thursday. And on Thursday, Jennifer will generate all of the badges and have those on Friday to overnight to me, so I have them first thing on Monday morning. Do you want to talk a little bit about how Sage works? It's new to everybody on this call.
Sure. So our registration software was built just for the promotional products industry. So what we're able to do for your distributors, they can look themselves up in our database, and all of their information is going to pre-populate when they go in to register for their name badge. But in addition to that, we also have the capability for them to send invitations to their clients. We have a way for their clients to use this same site to register for their name badges as well. And the greatest benefit is that you, from a MIPA standpoint, will understand which clients belong to which distributors. Any of your suppliers that are using Sage ShowLink will, when they scan a distributor's badge or a client's badge, they'll get all of the distributor's contact information for follow-up. And down the road, when we want to look at how we can integrate even further, that's a great benefit for your distributors as well, because they will receive those reports of which clients met with which suppliers, what products they talked about, any notes that were taken. In terms of reports, whenever you all would like me to send RSVP reports to your distributors on which clients have registered, it's just a click of a button. They'll receive an email from us with an Excel file of all clients who have said, yes, I will be coming. And I think that about covers it. Do you all have any questions for me? No?
So we'll be using this and want to keep a real close track on what works well, where we might be able to improve, since we plan on also using the system for promotions at Roar. So it's kind of our beta test on using this registration system. It has the capabilities of printing badges on site, I believe, correct?
That is correct, and that's more of our forte. Doing it this way is it works, but it's best if we're able to do it on site. We never have to close down registration, so all of those folks that say, oh, I'm not sure if I can come, I don't know if I can bring my clients, they don't necessarily have to. You don't have to cut it off a week in advance. They can potentially register them right up until they walk into the show, and we can still have a badge ready for them when they get on site. And the greatest benefit for the association is you're not pre-printing badges, you're not stuffing badges, you're not alphabetizing, and there's no line at registration. All of your attendees come in with a confirmation email that has a little barcode on it. We scan it and outprints their badge. It's streamlined, very efficient, and got a lot of great feedback from it.
So what we'll do is Monday, I'll be receiving those badges. They'll probably be alphabetized by our distributor company, correct?
That's correct.
So we'll set that up, and we'll have to set up our registration at the gardens, so that people with signage and with volunteers make it very clear that they come in to pick up their badge by the distributor name. So promotion concepts will be going to the P line and so on. That was a bad reference. And then their clients will have to know who invited them. So if a client walks in unaccompanied, you'd be which distributor invited you to the show, and make sure that they go there. So we'll need a lot of volunteers. Our board member Jeff Nowoski has been handled registration desks for all of our shows. He's real good at it. I'll have 3 family members who are planning on volunteering, and I'll work with Carrie Schmack, who said she had some connections at Cornerstone University. Maybe we can get a couple of students or something. I just think we need to make sure, like we did at Ford Field, that we have a lot of people in that registration area to make sure that everything's being handled. Any questions on registration and anything I'm missing there? I think we're going to have to rely heavily on volunteers more so than signage, as the gardens are open to the public, and they are pretty particular about our presentation in the public spaces where we are, where other people can see us. We have to keep our registration area pretty clean and aesthetically appealing throughout the entire show. Well, Jennifer, you're welcome to stay on, but I think we've covered registration, and I know you're managing about 5 shows right now. Um, since I'm only managing three, I can relate to the craziness.
Well, Paul, let's touch base after your call. I've got a couple questions just for layout for the name badge, but they're little minor details that we can work out later. But
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much
Bye.
for joining us. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Catering is always a challenge because it is based on estimates. So far on my order, I've got coffee and Danish service for the exhibitors when they come in on Tuesday morning for early setup. That's set up for 50 people. We have about 60 to 65 exhibiting personnel if they all show up. A lot of them seem to just ignore that station. Other ones do appreciate it. I'm assuming that if we have lots of leftover, we can run it downstairs to the education. That room, our first year we filled with 75 people. It was almost standing room only for our first professional development. It's very hard to say what that attendance is going to be. In our first year, we had 75 people show up for professional development and only 125 people total for the whole show. Which is a very unusual relationship. In all the years I've worked with PPAI and PPAI Expo, we always use a ratio of 20%. So that if you're going to have 10,000 people at the show, you'd have 2,000 people at education. That ratio it works really good on a national level. I've not been able to make any correlation to the shows that we've put on so far, but I still tend to use it. I've got 50 currently set up for the coffee and Danish service for the professional development. I think I'll just watch the registration numbers as they come in, and if it appears we're going to get closer to 75 or 100 people, I'll bump it up from there. The thing is, as a free event, people tend to RSVP whether they're coming or not. So we tend to have more RSVPs than we do attendees, and currently we have like 80 some RSVPs for the professional development. And then for the box lunches, we'll have to have the board members and volunteers arranged for delivering those to the booths. I was hoping to have some suppliers on the call to ask them about my question on whether we should switch from box lunches to vouchers for the restaurant. So that will have to wait for another show, potential discussion. My feeling about it is I hate to have them leave their booths to go eat, particularly when we only have a window of 4 hours for a trade show, 10 to 2 at this one, 11 to 3 at Roar. And at Roar in particular, most of the boxes were still sitting on the exhibits because the show was so busy they didn't have time to eat. So, but just something for us to consider in the future. Got more promotions going out for it. I'm still expecting more to come in, and but even if we don't at 210, I'm pretty happy with that number for Grand Rapids. We have show bags donated by Crown Products. I approved a proof yesterday, so those are on track, if not a little bit behind, but on track. I've got boxes of writing instruments from Pentel, who have donated those. I've got 3 boxes of, I have no idea of what's in, from Phi, and I believe it's Heritage has some T-shirts, but they're not imprinted with our. It's just a Heritage T-shirt, not promotion or Ideas in Bloom. Sharprint a decorator out of Chicago, is providing T-shirts with a design incorporating the ideas in bloom. I have not seen what that design looks like, but they do some very creative things with full design and so on. And so we have some good giveaways. I'm thinking rather than having us pre-stuff the bags, that we make a list of, I'll contact all the exhibitors and find out if anybody has giveaways, and create a list and say visit the booth to pick up the giveaways. Any thoughts on that? Okay. Any other ideas or things that we need to talk about? It's going to be here before we know it.
So do we have like the list of volunteers for these different aspects? Handing out the box lunches, all of the directing people to different areas, that kind of stuff. Setting up the vendors ahead of time.
Excellent question. No, we have not organized our volunteer pool yet. What I'll do today is write a list. I'll think through the show and all of the areas where we're going to need volunteers and the numbers, and then make a list of who we have as potential volunteers. And I'll share that with this group, and we can try to put that together. Can anybody think of any artwork or design work that we need? We've got T and Phone on the call with us. Okay, T, I'm not going to add to your workload. All right.
Okay. Well, if you guys, if even at the last minute, you know how you were saying the signage and stuff, Paul? I was thinking, if you're going to get some just locally printed sort of things for tables or something like that, if you can tell me what size you want that to be done, I can do that. The new pink version.
Yeah.
On there.
I think if we plan on everything being 8.5 by 11, then we can inkjet or laser.
Okay. Well, just let me know the what needs to go on the signs, even if it says registration here or something like this. I can develop a template, and then all we do is just change the words out in it. Just make it go a little faster.
That sounds good. So,
a question that I would have, I'm printing the itinerary cards for the park bus. Did you want me to use a specific design for this Ideas in Bloom to correlate the itinerary card to the participants, or do you not care what design I use?
I've got a up on Dropbox. I made a Ideas in Bloom folder. So if that has EPS or AI files or whatever in it, the logos, and there's some full color and some one color. Do you want to grab that? Would that help you?
Yeah, that would help me. Yes.
Okay.
So how would I grab that?
Hold on one second. I'm going to let me see if
Phil's email address is on the email I sent yesterday.
Do you guys see that in the chat?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it came up on the chat box. See that, Phil?
Yes, the link right here.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there. There's also I guess we did a brochure. So even if you want to pull some of those pieces off that brochure as well, or need the match color or something like that. It's the pink one we're kind of leaning towards, not the orange one was last year's and the pink one's sort of this year's.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, if all of the designs are current, but some are from last year. Is that right?
Just the brochure. There's another copy of the brochure I did in using the orange. And then when we found out that we were having those bags come in pink, I just color matched that pink and I went, it's like, it looks really good. Let's just use the pink one. So.
Okay, great. Yep. These are very, very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Terrific. Okay, well, it's coming up, and so I'm going to be nearing freakout mode by next week. I'll be be a mess, but we're scheduled for 9 o'clock on Wednesday of next week just to touch base one last time and make sure we've got all of our ducks in a row. But you guys have been great help and easing my mind and taking a load off. So again, thank you very much for your help. And well, anything else comes up, give me a call. I will. Phil will follow up on the details on the bus thing. I will follow up on the volunteer needs and the signage need. And other than that, we'll talk next Wednesday.
All right. Good.
All right.
Okay, talk to you in a little bit.
Yep. Talk to you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paul.
Bye-bye.